And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Starting off with Tuesday morning's flying weather graphic here. IFR, northern Bering Sea into the southwest coast here. And Pribilof Islands to the eastern Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula, mostly marginal there. VFR, Adak and Atka, and a lot of VFR here over the interior. Some marginal VFR up along the western central north slope, portions of the Seward Peninsula, Kuskokwim Valley, and over toward the eastern Alaska Range. A lot more widespread marginal VFR here, Kenai Peninsula, Prince William Sound, across the Gulf into the Panhandle. For the afternoon, pretty good improvement here for the southeast coast. Marginal VFR holding over the southeast interior, but south central Alaska, Susitna Valley, Matanuska Valley, most of the Kenai Peninsula into Kodiak Island will be VFR, as well as a good portion of the northern interior here. Kuskokwim Valley, still a lot of marginal VFR there that extends out to the southwest coast. Marginal from the northern eastern Bering Sea down to the Alaska Peninsula. And another batch of IFR here slipping on up to the west central Aleutians. That continues northward and eastward here across Adak and Atka in toward Nikolsky by Wednesday morning. Some IFR here along the southwest coast and some spotty areas of IFR here over the southeast interior areas. Good VFR to the north here all the way to the Arctic coast. And the southeast coast, not too bad there. Yakutat VFR and mostly VFR for the Panhandle. And then for the afternoon, Yakutat right on down to Dixon Entrance. VFR, marginal VFR here for south central Alaska with some IFR there into western Prince William Sound area, possibly as far south as Resurrection Bay. And then pretty good here for northeastern Bristol Bay there into Kodiak Island. And out over the Bering Sea, we've got VFR in the north, marginal in the central areas with IFR down toward the central and eastern Aleutians and across the western Alaska Peninsula. So moving on to passes for the Brooks Range for tomorrow, Anatuvik and Adigan. Look for a VFR day through both passes on either approach, Lake Clark and Merrill. VFR for rainy and windy as well. Could be some marginal VFR here in the northern entrance to Windy Pass. And for Isabel, mostly marginal. Pretty marginal day for Mentasta, but Tanita should be VFR again. And Portage, marginal VFR maybe early on, becoming VFR, could be VFR from start to finish tomorrow. And for Chilkoot and White, look for occasional marginal conditions there. Freezing levels here at the surface, very close to the Pribilof Islands, in across Nunivak Island, Shelikof Strait, North Gulf Coast there, cutting across about the Juneau area. Otherwise, the freezing levels aloft just didn't quite make the chart today. And for the icing, big area of icing here coming in with that next system. Occasional moderate, considerable moderate, Adak and Atka area to the western Aleutians, about Kiska Island there. Otherwise, just a chance of some possible significant icing over the southeast interior, especially over toward the east there, and maybe over the Panhandle. And for the jet stream here, not much flow at 33,000 feet over mainland Alaska. Different story down here to the south, northwest winds, 130 knots there for the Alaska Peninsula, and stronger winds just to the south of Adak and Atka. Light winds for the southeast coast, moving on down to 9,000 feet. Northwesterlies about 45 knots here for the Fox Islands. Otherwise, pretty light for the Bering Sea here into the interior. North side of this low, right through here, Yukon Flats area. We've got east-northeast at about 30 to 40 knots up through this shaded area there, but light for the Gulf of Alaska into the southeast coast. 3,000 feet, light winds for the southeast coast here, and not too bad for the Gulf as well. Light easterlies, east-northeast 35 knots over the Kobuk-Selawik Valley areas. Some southeast 35-knot winds just clipping the Kaktovik area there in the eastern Arctic coast. Chukchi Sea northeast at 40 knots. Fairly light over the Bering Sea here. Northwest 35 knots there coming across False Pass, and then southeast to 40 knots for the west central Aleutians. Turbulence-wise, look for some occasional moderate turbulence there for the Alaska Peninsula and areas from about Adak out to Kiska Island, and up here through the north central interior, Koyukuk, to a lesser extent Kobuk Valley, could be some considerable moderate turbulence there. Not too bad elsewhere.